Welcome to the Silent Hill Ascension post-show auntie edition for the final time. I am back here with my dearest Laluchka. What the hell did we just watch?
Laluchka, what we just watched was a lot. First of all, scenes, a lot. Rachel apparently did a straight up murder. Like, just a straight up killing on her. And that's crazy. But what's even crazier was that I was sitting here watching that endure. I was like, oh, surely the audience is going to get her ass now. No, clean sweep for a rescue. So, like, I am shook, shocked, shick, shack, shook. I am all the things. I am all of it.
Yeah, we were just saying before we went on air that it's like, you know how people on the internet are like, ooh, I'm gonna kill you, and then they don't kill me. So this is just what happened now, like in the moment of truth. So I don't know if we're gonna see our Rachel goo. Mm-hmm. We might have to smear some jam instead on our meta toast. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but I'm not seeing a goo. Well, I'm not seeing her melting right now.
Yeah, maybe the meta toast will be a little dry. We don't know. But no, I am shaken and stirred by what we just saw. No, we got a lovely "I love you" from Haugen. We got a little Haugrid moment happening. There's just a roof today to take this pairing out on. There will be more pre and post shows. Just the two. This is the last time you'll see the two of us.
This is the last auntie night. But the hotline will remain open.
Absolutely.
So let's look at one of the videos that premiered today. The time enough at last. So Astrid decides what to say to Detective Haugen, well, formerly known as Detective Haugen, now known as the half of Haugrid, permanently deciding whether their relationship has a future, and the decision is yes.
I love, the audience caught this too, but I love that in the beginning of the scene, Turbo is still getting eaten. Still getting work done. So really having a good time there. But yes, we have some exciting, the U-Haul keys, they're still a jingling. It's time. The ladies are back in it to win it. Very exciting for me, furthering the LGBTQ agenda as I always intended, obviously.
Yes, and this may have been like, something that we strongly wanted to see here. And we're seeing it. So I gotta though give a shout out again to our beloved Orson Chomper's voice actor. Those screams are nar. And also, like, yes, we did get a reunion of Haugrid, but then Haugen is off, fighting Snarlers now, and Astrid is left alone with Chompers.
Yes,
with the screaming Chompers,
Screaming Chompers and Gorsh. Listen, we've seen what Faith. I feel like is spooky, right? Like Faith is an unsettling presence.
Right.
Orson has done material harm to multiple adults.
Yeah, but for some reason, I've always been like. I guess, again, it's like the age thing. Like, I think because Orson is still younger, and also he's, like, really cute with his emulator, Like, when Faith hangs out with her Snarlers and stuff, and denizens, it's not as, like, cute as when Orson's hanging out with the emulator. That's just my personal take.
I think that's fair enough. I would also say the Immolator is like cuter than the Entangler, which is kind of the other option there. The Snarlers, I'm a big fan of like a skinny dog. I love a Borzoi. The more a dog looks like a horse, the more I'm into it. So I love a Snarler, but I definitely get where you're coming from. But hey, Noah, I think it's time for you to like reveal our little surprise.
Oh my God, is it time to like reveal our little surprise? Oh my God. Okay, so Layla had the chance to sit down with another of our voice actors yesterday, and we have it recorded for you. So please enjoy this interview with none other than our very own sad old wet dude, Jonas Karl Delerud.
Hello and welcome once again. It's Layla in the past, here with none other than the voice actor for our very own Karl. F's in the chat, please. I won't see them, but I'll feel them. Jonas, hello. Thank you so much for spending time with us. Would you please care to introduce yourself?
Hello. So nice to be here. Yes, my name is Jonas Delerud. I'm a Norwegian actor. I come from a little town in southeast of Norway called Kongsvinger, close to the Swedish border. I've been an actor for, 15 years, I think, doing a lot of stage productions and some TV series. And the last years, I've done a lot of children's TV shows, actually. So, now I live in Tromsø. It's far, far, far north up in the country. And I work at a theater called Hålogaland Teater. So right now I'm doing Little Shop of Horrors. I'm sure you've heard of that. And actually voicing in that one as well. I'm doing Audrey 2, the meat-eating plant. So that is a lot of fun. Yeah. So that's me.
And you're there with none other than Truda in the same production.
Oh, yes, we are. So we know each other well. We've done a lot of shows together. So that's so nice to work with Truda.
Yeah, and it sounds like you've run the full gamut from like an adult-oriented horror interactive streaming series to now doing children's television. How did you hear about the opportunity for Ascension?
Well, it was the casting agent here in Tromsø, which I live, who put out a call for a job about that, and I phoned in and got the audition and got the part. So it was, really fun.
Yeah, we love to hear it. Are you typically a fan of horror?
No, actually not. No, but I was in my early teen days. Me and my friends, we were always, every Friday night after school, we would sleep over at each other's places and watch the old classic horror movies like The Exorcist. And I remember so well the day the Blair Witch Project came to Norway. It was just it was unbelievable. So we stayed up 4 or 5 of us just watching the Blair Witch Project. And of course, because the PR campaign around that movie, we thought this was real. And it was like, it is so scary. And also I really enjoyed horror games when I grew up. So I remember one of the first things I really enjoyed playing was a PC game called Alone in the Dark, which I think they've done a remake now in the later years, but also Resident Evil and of course Silent Hill. So when I found out I got the part, I was like speechless. This is part of my childhood. It was really special and really fun. But no, I don't like horror movies now because I'm getting old and I get too spooked. I don't like being spooked. Hate it.
That is very funny. I feel like a lot of the voice actors we've talked to have a similar answer where they either were or aren't currently. I myself was not until midway through COVID when I ran out of other things to watch. And I said, well, there's nothing else. So it's time to be a little scared. And now I love it. So it's a journey for everybody. But, speaking of your role as Karl, what was a typical day for you recording in Norway?
It's because of the time difference. It was kind of going to work at the theater during the day, doing rehearsals, then running off to the recording studio with something to eat in my hands, coming in, getting a warm cup of coffee from Rune, and here we go. And then recording for some hours, and then back to the theater and doing a night show. So it was it was not like that every time, but a lot of the time it was like that. But it was really, really fun recording and lovely to be with Tiffany and kind of getting into this amazing universe. So it was really, really nice work. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. In terms of Karl himself, what was your kind of first perception of the character?
Well, the first perception was kind of this typical old Norwegian man who rarely speaks, and if he speaks, he do not talk about his emotions. Old Norwegian men don't do that. And I kind of saw the generation of my father, and especially maybe my grandfather's generation, this old man who is kind, and but are not connected with the emotions. So I saw him as that, as a kind of a quiet but sensible man in some way. And then after working with it for some while, then you of course discover other we call it falsets of the character. He's a warm man, but he's kind of, what am I going to say? He has not raised his voice for a very, very long time, and in his relationship with Ingrid, I think he has not said anything, and this, of course, has transferred to his kids, and the relationship with his kids has not been good, and he has failed them in many ways, I think, and it's kind of this curtain of shame and guilt riding him in every relationship he has. So yeah, he's a troubled, but I think a kind and warm soul, but of course troubled by his past. Yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely some confrontation to that effect too, with Astrid really calling him out at one point for, kind of his absence or the way he always seemed to capitulate to Mette, to Ingrid, and for good reason, right? We saw Ingrid in the beginning, and she is quite the force.
She is.
She is. I would also be very scared of her. What scenes were the most memorable for you to record?
I have to say the scenes with Ava. I think they're really well written, and you kind of from an early stage figure out that there is something strange about this relationship. Who is she, and who is he in the relationship with her? So I think it was really, really nice doing that scenes, and you kind of, the more you get into it, the more you wonder what is this really about. So I really, really enjoyed doing the scenes with Ava. Yeah.
Yeah, I think those were probably some of the most impactful for me. It took me a really long time to catch on to the fact that there was something strange with Ava, because I used to be the weird neighbor girl who hung out with like my older male neighbors. I would just come over and play crosswords with them. It was chill.
Of course, you do.
As you do, you're a little woodland child. So it took me a little while, but I think those are some of the most impactful scenes. But one of Ava's scenes was actually one of the last that we got to see with Karl. The confrontation with the immolator, where he finally got to say his piece to her, and then now, presumably, he borrowed a boat and is like having a time in Bergen.
Yeah,
what he's up to. How did you feel about his ending?
Well, you tell me. No, especially that scene with Ava, you kind of see him finding some peace. I think getting to say what he has thought about since that day, so many 15 years ago. So I think he finds peace there, and that is good. He can now go on, and then if he hops on a boat, and then maybe Leo comes after, they go to Bergen and they open up a pub there. I don't know. I think, it's up to you as an audience to figure out what you think happened with Karl.
That's true. Though you've kind of described him as very very troubled and very guilty, which is all true. Are you at all surprised that the audience not only redeemed him in terms of the choices, the decisions that they made with him, but that he survived the experience?
Yeah, I think he has a warmth to him, and I think especially with Orson, I think he kind of sees this chance to start over again. It didn't go that good with my daughters, but then here is Orson. I have actually another chance to redeem myself, and I think you see that in the scenes with Orson, that he has a lot of love and a lot of warmth for him. So I think. And you can relate to him as well. It's not easy going into conflict, and especially if you're not used to it. So I think he's a very human character in some ways. Yeah,
that is very true. Well, Jonas, thank you so much for your time and your insight. Do you have any final parting messages for our audience?
Just so glad that you're enjoying the show, and just keep on watching it. I've really enjoyed being a part of this, and thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you so much for lending your talent and your time today. Audience, this is Layla and Jonas signing off, and we'll be back to the live show in just a second, or perhaps the ending, who's to say?
Welcome back. Hope you all enjoyed that, but I doubt you enjoyed it as much as I did, because Jonas is wonderful.
Yeah, no, truly, Jonas was a delight. Thank you for the opportunity to chat. A little fun behind the scenes fact is when I record those interviews, or if we record those interviews, they have to be in the afternoon for the American time zones, which means that usually my coworkers see me in like sportswear and a bare face, and then only on interview days do I come around in full glam to do my day job, and it is quite the experience. But that's just a little fun fact for you on the outset of these shows. Noah, what a beautiful analysis of Karl.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's very articulate. And I can't get over, like, he's not at all a sad old wet man.
No, he is a perfectly content, successful Norwegian actor, and
Right.
we love to see it. I love that there's been like a pattern of our voice actors, one being quite open about the fact that they aren't fans of horror either currently or haven't experienced it, but through the experience of working on Ascension have found no relationship with the genre. And I also love that we've pulled in film and stage actors into the discipline of voice acting, right? And have them go through that experience too, which always compliments for Tiffany and the crew in the booth to make sure that was a great working experience for them, which is great. So yeah, I love these interviews. I'm sad we won't get to do any more of them, at least for right this second. But what a great one to come out on with Jonas.
Oh my God. Sorry that I said Jonas. I never know if it's a J or it's a yeah or it's a...
I did it in the opening of the interview too. It happens to the best.
It happens, man. Okay, but no, thank you so much for that interview, Layla. You absolutely smashed it as always, and it was beautiful to see the beautiful halo surrounding you. So let's go back, not go back, but let's introduce the decision that opened today. Production, can you please put that up on screen? Thank you so much. So I'm actually going to read this. I did learn how to read English during our show.
We worked very hard to teach her very quickly in the green room.
Layla is a really, really good teacher. Thank you. So how will Rachel react to Joy's accusation of murder? It's a fate decision. It's an accusation of murder. Murder, she wrote. Okay, so will Rachel say evil acted through me? Or will she say I had to save the world? Or will she say I was led astray by lies? Heavy one.
Interesting. I was led astray. By whomst?
Yeah.
Rachel, tell me more.
Ain't nobody leading Rachel, okay? Let's not pretend that she can be led. She is the leader, and I don't know. I'm just goofing. Like, honestly, I do feel like, you know how she and Krista found the secret stash box?
Yes.
With the secrets. Oh, Turbo Bastard, thank you so much. Thank you for being with me in this process of learning how to read in 10 minutes. But when they found the stash box, they found Radcliffe's original writings. And he says in them that he is kind of confused, to be honest. Like, he's like, is that a monster? Is that an empath? Is that is that me? He says he even saw glimpses of himself. So that's like, it can go either way with Joy. Like basically, is Rachel a killer, or is something like external is happening,
Yeah, is there like a triple agent in Rachel's head, right?
Right.
That is Joy, that is also the Entangler, that is also Rachel, that is also maybe Eric. I don't know. How many people can you cram in that dome? I know.
I think somebody could cram like 15.
Yeah, if you're being real ambitious about it, get Barbara in there, Astrid, get anybody. Common Name says, any real people here? You're going to find out.
Not me, that's for certain.
No, I've been fake the whole time. That's why there was that halo around me. It wasn't because my window was open in the interview. It's because I was only partially getting phased in.
You were beamed. You were beamed and beaming. But, okay, so we have to figure out what we're going to do with this decision. We don't have many decisions here left for this. So we got to decide if Rachel is going to admit, basically, if she says, I had to save the world, is like admitting that she killed her on purpose.
Yes, and it's the first step to fixing the problem is admitting you have one. So if you have a homicide problem, Rachel, perhaps admitting to it will be the first step to recovery and recuperating that damage. So listen, not a lot. Ascension, she is coming to the end of her canon run, so not a lot of time. I know, some of you have influence points just stacked up, just fat stacks of influence points chilling there in the top left of your screen. Y'all,
throw them.
It's time.
Throw the stacks at us. Put it on my forehead.
Like, man to man, listen, I grew up on JRPGs. I know what it is like to hoard ethers and hoard Phoenix Downs and say, I'm saving them for the end game, and then not use them in the end game. This is the end game. It is time to use them.
Yeah, that's the time. Like, it's the same with everything. It's like savings. Who needs them, Like, just blow it now,
Take it with you.
You can take it with you, There's that's a one person trip to the other side. But okay, we are nearing the end of this post show. That's again, we're not gonna have the anti-formation again.
No, all of our nieces and nephews, all of our many followers and devotees will have to call the hotline instead. Noah, I want to say thank you so much for being my partner 2/3 of the time. I think that's how the math works out. I don't know. My degree is in arts. And you can't read it until recently, so we don't know. It has been a genuine delight. The hosted show team is nothing but gems all across the board. So it is just been a treat. And audience, thank you so much for being you. We will see you again. Just not in this formation. But for now, Noah, let's say thank you very much to Jonas for that wonderful interview. He was truly, like all of our voice actors have truly been delights to talk to. So very, very, very happy that we got to close out with him. Production, if you wouldn't mind pulling up that beautiful run of show graphic. Pacha. Right here. There it is. So on a typical week of Ascension, Monday through Friday, you will see the show at 6 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you will have the pre and post shows at 5:40 p.m. Pacific. But again, next week, we are coming to a close. So you'll see us Monday, and you'll see us Wednesday, and that will be very exciting. And we will all be very sentimental and lovely the whole time. So ride this wave of emotion with us. Noah, do you have to say to the good people before we leave them to their weekend?
There's a lot of pressure right now because, I need to do like a proper anti-sign-off. But I will say, It's my favorite trauma too. I don't remember who said it in chat, but thank you for saying it. I love traumatizing you with my favorite auntie, fellow colleague. She will be here on Monday as well, and we will see you in some capacity next week. But please enjoy your weekend for now. We love you, and we hope that you take your traumas easy.